Hi, I'm Kathy Brown from Kiki's Quilt Check. We're so excited. We just got in our new Solaris and we're learning all kinds of things about this machine, including how big the hoop is. But I want to show you some things in embroidery and in sewing that make this machine extraordinary. So let's see what we can do in embroidery, and then we're going to play with sewing just a little bit. So look here on the screen. I brought in a little design and I want to bring in another. So when I hit add, I'm going to play and pick up my little bug down here. There's my little bug. When I hit set, that brings it up on the screen. So I'm going to move him down just a little bit so that you can see him. Now I'm going to put a design around the outside of him. I can put some stippling or maybe some echo quilting, but I want to add a fancy design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these two simply by touching them. That brings them in as an entire group. And now I want to do an outline around them. But I want you to notice first. See how I have the black thread that's part of the palette with the bug? It shows the palette with that bug. Now here's the palette with that leaf. I can tell which color goes with this design, and it's not just one big long laundry list. I think that's an extraordinary feature. So when I go to edit, I can pull in an outline of that entire design, and that means that I'm not going to have stitching over the top of that. I'm going to send that to IQ Designer. Okay, and now I'm going to add that outline. When I touch add and IQ Designer, I'm going to tell it that I'm using my 4x4 hoop. There's my 4x4 hoop. When I say OK, it brings that 4x4 hoop up onto the screen. I want to add my little outline so I make sure I'm not stitching over the top of my bug. Here it is up here, and as you can see, I've been playing just a little bit. OK. So now let's find that fancy fill that I'm going to put in the background. I'm going to choose from over 30 different awesome fills that can go behind that. I think these leaves is going to be perfect. So I touch OK. I want my leaves to be green, of course. And when I touch OK and tell the machine I want that stitching behind my bug. When I hit next, I can make the choices that give me the look that I want. I think I don't want an outline around the edge, so let's turn that off. Notice how instantly it just goes away after I say OK. There it goes. Let's make our design a little bit smaller. When I touch this, it decreases the size, and when I hit OK, I have instant gratification. I could even make it look a little fun by touching random shift, and it's going to kind of mix up the design a little bit and make it look a little bit different. Let's hit set and send that to the embroidery. Now I've just added an embroidery element to my existing design, and now it's a quilt block. So when I go to embroidery, what's going to happen is the amazing IQ Visionary is going to show me exactly where it's going to be on my fabric. All I do is touch this cone, and the machine instantly shows me where the design is on the fabric in full color. So I think that's amazing. I could still scan my fabric, I can use placement with the camera, but now I can see exactly where it is. It does something equally amazing in sewing. Let's take a look at what that is. Let's switch over to sewing. So when I come back to the machine, I'm going to say that I want to go to sewing. So I'm going to go home. Is it okay to leave my design? Well, of course, I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to go to sewing, but I need to take that hoop off. Now when I take off the hoop and I say OK, it's going to move the embroidery arm out of the way. Now I really should change my presser foot, but I just want to show you a couple things. Here's my fabric. Let me bring up something that's been on our Destiny before, but it's kind of an added feature on this machine. When I touch my laser guide light, I can turn it on, and I can show that it is now either green, white, or red. There's the single line I had with Destiny. I can even make it short or long. But what I now have is I now have an extra light that I can add. I can use that as a seam allowance. I can use that to help me sew diagonal or parallel rows of stitching. Everything's going to be perfect. What if I want to do multiples? Well, I think I need a grid. There's my grid, and I can make it any size I want. Check that out. how can you not sew perfect rows of stitching with a grid? What if I want to do that diagonal line that I mentioned? Well, it'd be nice if I had a diagonal, and I do. So there's my diagonal line. And when I come over here, I can have it 90, 60, or 45 degrees. I can't go wrong. Now, the other thing that's incredibly amazing is it's going to show me my stitch on the fabric before I even stitch it, not just with the laser guide light. So I'm going to pick a decorative stitch. There's my decorative stitch. Let's just choose that one. And when I ask it to project that stitch on the fabric, it's going to show me that stitch exactly where it's going to be and the size that it's going to be on the fabric. If I don't like that, I can literally tell the machine that I want to change the length of it or the width of it, and it's instantly going to change it for me on the fabric and show me before I even stitch it. So I think you agree, this machine is absolutely amazing. Thank you for letting me show you just a few of the little features that it has. I'd really love to show you more. Come on down to Kiki's and we'll take it through all of its paces that it can do. Because you know, at Kiki's, it's all about you. We try every day to be a stitch above, filled with love. Come on in and see us, and we'll take it for a spin. Thanks.